Hello, Indian River County. My name is Cindy Emerson, your Director of Instructional Innovation for the School District of Indian River County. On today's episode of Insight to Innovation, I'm bringing you our exceptional student education team, focusing in on our transition programs and our career work learning experiences. This is going to be an exciting show, really focus in on students. And today I have Rachel Mori, Director of Exceptional Student Education, Dr. Daphne Matthews, one of our amazing program specialists, and Tony Pruett, who's here for job coaching and to explain the amazing work he's doing with our students and our small businesses in Indian River. But to start off with, I want to have each member of the team share a little bit about their educational experiences. Starting with Rachel Mori, can you tell us how you have been on this journey and how you ended up as part of Elevate ESE, this amazing team of educators?
Absolutely. So I have been part of the School District of Indian River County since 2004 when I first started teaching. Prior to that, I fell in love with education, spending time in my mom's classroom, who was a teacher working with students with disabilities throughout my whole childhood. So I grew up watching her, wanting to emulate her, and followed in her footsteps, becoming a teacher myself. So in 2004, I started teaching, working with students identified as gifted, students with disabilities, all students, teaching reading and language arts, and then worked into different leadership roles so I could really expand my impact, becoming an assistant principal at Vero Beach Elementary, and then principal at Pelican Island Elementary, and then had the awesome opportunity in June of 2021 to become the director of the ESE department and really work with an incredible team dedicated to supporting our students and elevating our services and our programming for students.
And I've seen such passion behind the educators in our department for ESE. Dr. Daphne Matthews, you are one of these amazing people who have just really elevated the work. So can you share with the community your experience and your journey into this team?
Well, I am an educator of 30 years, nearing retirement, and I've relocated here to Vero Beach about 6 years ago and pursued a job, and these two amazing ladies, Mrs. Mori and Mrs. Emerson, hired me at Vero Beach Elementary, so it's kind of like a reunion of a family this morning. And I worked with Vero Beach Elementary for 3 years, and then a couple of years ago, I was hired as a program specialist in ESE, and I've enjoyed every moment of it. It's a different type of work compared to what my educational background entails. I come from the 2-year college system, and I have thoroughly enjoyed and embraced, that's the best word I can use, the work, because every day we get to see barriers being changed. We get to rise to the occasion in terms of challenges. And most of all, I've witnessed students even graduate who have benefited from some of our services. So I'm elated to be attached to the district.
That's so exciting. And Tony Pruett, you have such an interesting job. Can you share your journey and what your new role is?
My journey actually is a little bit more simpler. I was always involved with special needs through Special Olympics. That's how it all started. So, and make a long story short, I have a degree in graphic arts, but I have done nothing with that, with the school district. I started coaching for Indian River County. I always helped out with Special Olympics, like I mentioned. And when I seen openings for the ESE department, that's when I always enjoyed working with special needs. So that's how I applied for a job to work in the ESE department. And then it just turned into where I am today with employment specialist for the Indian River County School District. So, I basically was asked to help out with the program about 8 years ago. So, and I'm still here. I mean, I enjoy it. It's great. It's great working with Dr. Matthews and Rachel. I just see nothing but progress in the future. I mean, even it was tough through the COVID years, but we didn't stop. I mean, we just kept on moving forward, and there's only growth. That's all that it's going to continue to see, that everybody's going to see.
That's so exciting to hear. Can you share with us some of the highlights from the 2021-2022 school year? Because I know you have so much to celebrate as a department.
I am going to have Tony really showcase some of the work that has been done because he's being modest in his introduction. He has been spearheading this work for transition programming and work-based learning experiences and making it happen for our district. So please showcase some of our celebrations.
What I do is it's the work-based learning experience. It's called a WBLE program. And do you want to know how it all starts?
Yes, absolutely. I think the community wants to hear everything.
Well, the way it works is students, 504 students and ESE students in high school, they get referred. So they, district, we refer them. Dr. Matthews approves the referral. There's once they're approved, then it's brought to my attention. So then I follow up with whatever student has been approved to be part of the WBLE program. And there's a lot involved with placing a student. So that's my main job, is go out in the community, get our business partners, and placing a student at a work site that they have a major interest to. Like, we don't place them somewhere just to say they're out in the work field or learn working experience and be in a working environment and learn life skills and so on and so forth. Where I place them is exactly where they want to be.
So completely personalized placement.
They just, I have to, when I meet them, I sit down, I talk to them, I get to know them before there's any progress being made. I find their interests. If we have many business work sites, a lot of them we don't use year in and year out because they're on, I use the word we have on the back burner, because if a student does have that interest, I know we have that availability and I can go back to that business partner that wants to participate in the program. And that's been nothing but a blessing in our community with all our business partners. I mean, there's I had never been turned down. I mean, some take a lot longer to get through,
right?
But everybody's willing to help. I mean, they're willing to give them the experiences, but and it's, the students realize that when they first actually start attending the work site. There's once they get approved, then there's 3 other approval processes that we have to go through before I can get them out there to the work site. There's they're labeled benchmarks. Benchmark 1, benchmark 2, and benchmark 3 basically is them out there working at the work site. There's most of the business partners, they want me, the employment special, on the work site. We're capable of leaving a student if they're capable of working on a work site, but a lot of business sites feel comfortable if I'm there.
Yes.
But through the years, we had a few that were able to leave back. I could drop them off, and then I come back and I pick them up. And what they're basically learning, it's not just, I'll give you an example. This year in the culinary department, students that had a major interest in that, they really had hands-on learning. I mean, they learned recipes. They learn how to do chopped vegetables a certain way, fruits a certain way for whatever business work site that
some
they're
sous
working
chef
out.
work.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do, and that's their goal. That's what I learned through the years with them. And a lot of the students, they stay with the program year in and year out. So I step them through the process. They'll start at the low end if it's culinary, and we slowly build them up, to learning more work skills. The main focus is learning one work skill 100% before they can move on to the next one. And it's just, if anybody's seen it, it's like phenomenal. And it's like a joy to see the progress that these students make.
I'm sure it's just life-changing for the students too.
And the more challenging the student is, I like that. I'd rather have someone that says to me, hey, if they have a student might have a behavioral issue, problem, there's if I'm told that it's going to be hard for you to bring that student out in the work site, we don't know, and grade-wise they might not be able to be taken out. I take that as a challenge because I change that. Their grades start to improve in school. I say you can't be part of the program unless your grades are improved. And then once they do that, every single student that I work with has shown improvement in their academics. And then they can attend, and they all want to attend.
Well, I can imagine it's real world, it's personalized learning, and you're really connecting them in a way that makes it meaningful. So I know there's some data behind this because you have made incredible growth this year. can you share with us how many students have been served and, you know, the difference between the previous year and this past year?
Absolutely. Before we jump into the numbers, though, I do want to just paint a picture of what this really is. Transition programming and our work-based learning experiences are preparing our students for life beyond our school district. We have such a finite amount of time with our students when we serve them in our schools. We want to make sure that we're preparing them for life beyond the school district of Indian River County and giving them opportunities to experience work and prepare for this transition outside of our system. And it's something that has been a part of our district for many years, but something that we know our community needs. And so in terms of elevating ESE and our focus, it is our key initiative. We have intentional focus on this so that the great data that we've had over the last year continues to soar and elevate moving forward. So Dr. Matthews, do you want to showcase and share some of the data?
Yes, so with COVID, the last couple of years tended to be a struggle. And at one point, we weren't going out at all. But this past school year, we were able to place approximately 20 students out in work-based experiences. And Tony has done a great job in putting them in rotation. They've met goals. We're sharing pictures. Hopefully they get embedded in this. And it really brings home what our intentions are, as Mrs. Mori has said. One of the challenges in terms of data has been to accurately check each child in terms of what the growth is, not only just from going to the work-based experiences, but mainly what skills are they acquiring. And so because independent living and self-advocacy and self-determination are huge to our transition program, we are in the process of really trying to attempt to measure what each student is gaining from those work-based experiences. So self-advocacy, as we know, goes beyond the high school years. They entail speaking up for yourself, making sure that you're able to articulate what it is that is needed and or desired. So not only are students working in those job experiences, but they are learning how to express what is needed for them to progress. So not only are the work-based experiences in terms of hands-on skills key, we just want to make sure that as a district we are addressing those self-determination pieces as well.
And talk about innovative, this is something that doesn't exist in the state. Dr. Matthews has been working with discretionary projects and representatives from the Department of Education to develop this from scratch so we can truly measure the skills students have mastered and the impact of these experiences, which is amazing.
Just another example of making the work meaningful and relevant. And again, Indian River being the model for innovation for the state and maybe the nation. Before we move on to the exciting things coming up this year, Mr. Prudenti, if someone had a small business and they wanted to be a part of it and they're not currently on your back burner, but they would love to be able to work as a small business with the district, how would they get in touch with you?
They would just have to contact the ESC office, ask for Dr. Matthews or Rachel, and then they would forward that information to me. I mean, I just pop in to any business site. I mean, so that's not an issue. Whoever would have an interest. Hopefully, from this, we will get one or two more businesses that are interested.
I hope so. And your passion, it's just so inspiring. And I know you have some work coming up. What are the goals and plans for 2022, 2023 for the Exceptional Student Education Department? So
part of our initiative last year was to make sure that each campus, each high school campus, had an entrepreneurship on campus. So I am pleased to announce that last year, Vero Beach High School, they launched, if you will, what they call Spirit. And Spirit Up is a decal making shop whereby they create decals for coffee mugs. They did actually details for our department, just sticker decals that you can place on items. And the transition teacher there was responsible for launching that program, and it's amazing to go in and watch the students actually take an order and then create that decal and put it on tote bags or whatever your heart desires, they will attempt to make it happen. The second business was launched at Sebastian River High School, and that was Student Perks. Student Perks is a coffee business. And 2 to 3 days a week, students are selling coffee to their peers. And so forget the Starbucks, forget the Dunkin' Donuts. They're out doing them all. So that both campuses do have businesses that generate money. They're taught banking systems within those programs, which again links to independent living skills. And both programs are run successfully by those transition teachers at each campus. So talk about ongoing skills. And though Tony does a great job connecting with business partners, we felt it was important to also have a business at home. So because in some instances, students cannot leave the campus and go to those outside agencies, those students have the opportunities to learn certain work skills right there on campus at home. So that's another highlight from last year that we're really proud to have.
And what do we have to look forward to this upcoming year?
So for the upcoming year, again, we revisit the self-determination piece, really huge. I've been afforded the opportunity to undergo many trainings this summer, and that hopefully information will push into some of our businesses again. We will be addressing not only just talking about it, but actually training teachers and students how to engage in those self-advocacy pieces. And also to just overall bring in our numbers. Tony mentioned about last year only having a certain amount of students due to the COVID or whatever issues. But next year, we hope that students are able to actually go out there and not necessarily need Tony to sit on site. We want to widen our population. So that's one of our intentions, to enhance the numbers, if you will, for experiences.
There's also been changes to policy in the last year or so, lowering the age where we start having these conversations with students. And so now it's down to the middle school level. So this year we're excited to bring all of our middle schools into the conversation, into problem solving and thinking about students' future. So Dr. Matthews has coordinated for every single middle school us to have a booth set up at orientation so we can start talking to families, having these conversations, planting the seeds so that students and their families start to think about what they want for life beyond, when they graduate from high school or leave our system. So it's very exciting that, we're working with more students, more schools coming on board. The buy-in has been incredible, and we're excited to see how this continues to impact students and they're planning for their future at a younger and younger age.
Well, this is such great work. And so for those of you at home, we will have a monthly feature from our Exceptional Student Education Department on Insight to Innovation. So we hope that you stay tuned to listen to the innovative work really driven around the needs of our students, personalized for what is best for them and their family. Thank you so much for tuning in to Insight to Innovation. And again, if you want to support this transition work, please reach out to the ESE department. We would love to continue to collaborate with our small businesses in Indian River County. Thank you.